Welcome to this edition of the Native News Update. I'm your host for today's program, Paul Demain. Many of the stories and information found here can be found at our website at www.indiancountrynews.com, where your online membership or donation helps support the development of this TV station. Here are some of the news articles of the day from the Associated Press and other Native American news sources. Tribal officials say former three affiliated tribes chairman Russell Mason Sr. has passed away in a partial North Dakota nursing home. He was 72 years of age. Mason was the tribal chairman from 1994 to 1998 after a career with the Indian Health Service. He is credited with developing programs to fight alcohol and drug abuse and creating a no-smoking policy in tribal buildings. He also was known as a biker and marathon runner. United Tribes Technical College President David Gipp said Mason wanted the best for his people and will be remembered with great honor. The federal government no longer will fight a tribe over a casino that opened in Michigan's Upper Peninsula in 2007. The government had argued that the land where the Keewaydin Shores Casino was built didn't qualify under federal law, but a judge in August ruled in favor of the Sault Ste. Marie tribe of Chippewa Indians. Earlier this month, the government withdrew its appeal notice. Tribal lawyer Bruce Green says the $41 million casino has been operating in St. Ignace throughout the litigation. The Smithsonian Institute says it will return human remains and other objects to the Klamath tribes of Oregon by April. The tribes and the staff of the Smithsonian's National Museum of Natural History has spent more than a decade working to return the remains to the Klamath Basin. According to the Smithsonian, 36 objects and skeletal remains of one individual were excavated before 1888 from mounds on the Klamath Reservation. Another set of remains excavated before 1906 near Tule Lake are connected to both the Klamath tribes and the Modoc of Oklahoma, whose members were taken from southern Oregon in 1873. Tribal officials says the remains will be reburied in cemeteries dedicated to the Klamath, Modoc, and Paiute tribal members. The Speaker of the Navajo Nation Council is seeking a fourth term to office. Lawrence Morgan has represented the communities of Yom Bito and Pinedale in New Mexico as a tribal lawmaker since 1991. He was first elected as Speaker in 2003. The Speaker will be elected by tribal lawmakers during their winter session in Window Rock that begins on January 26th. The Speaker presides over all tribal council meetings and serves as chairman of the council's Intergovernmental Relations Committee. A group representing Bismarck's United Tribes Technical College headed to Washington, D.C. this weekend for the inaugural parade. The college selected about 20 members from its 5 tribal owners. The tribes are the Standing Rock Sioux, 3 affiliated tribes, Turtle Mountain Band of Chippewa, the Spirit Lake Tribe, and the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate. The group from United Tribes is one of 11 tribal groups represented in the parade for the January 20th inauguration of Barack Obama. Jody Gillette, a Obama campaign organizer in North Dakota, says national politics never interested her very much until now. She says there's a general sense that we have someone who will now represent us as Native people in Washington, D.C. The president of the American Indian Society, Michael Nephew, is still inviting you to come over to the 11th Annual American Indian Inaugural Ball. This year's event is titled A Celebration of Many Nations, One People, and will take place at the Hyatt Regency in Crystal City, January 20th, starting at 8 p.m. The American Indian Society began in August of 1966 as a nonprofit organization to support and bring together American Indians and Alaskans in the greater D.C. area. One of the initiatives the AIS developed was its American Indian Inaugural Ball. The first inaugural ball took place in 1969. The ball generally draws about 4,000 people from around the world. Other AIS events include the January 19th American Indian Inaugural Powwow at the Hyatt Regency and finally The concluding event will be at the American Indian Inaugural Brunch on January 21st at noon. Make sure you stay tuned to IndianCountryTV.com and the Native News Update channel in order to watch the live camera feed on January 19th and 20th coming from the Smithsonian National Museum of the American Indian. It's currently pointed at the spot where Obama will be sworn in January 20th, and we have begun loading short news clips from both the Associated Press on the inauguration and the Museum of American Indian that are being produced now as Native events started this weekend and are ongoing. One of those features is the Halahoamo dancers from Hawaii who performed a special dance and song at the museum this weekend, and there will be more. And if we're lucky, we'll see some live feeds with some of your friends and relatives who are already there in Washington, D.C., enjoying themselves. And this editorial comment for today. Today is Martin Luther King's Day, and in honor to his work, we call upon the great Lakota Nation and the Pine Ridge Reservation people to repatriate the remains of one of his protégés and dedicated workers, Perry Ray Robinson, Jr., who went to Wounded Knee in 1973 during the occupation there by the American Indian Movement. He was killed there and was buried and remains there to this day. Repatriation is the right thing to do, but if our community is going to demand repatriation, the rule applies both ways. And that is the latest roundup of news from Indian Country on this edition of the Native News Update. We want to thank our underwriters for helping us with this broadcast and our digital mall partners, powwows.com, nativeview.com, and nishtv.com. Thank you and enjoy your day.